anyway, a quick story about this PowerPoint. We have meetings at the store every now and then, and Randy Wright, who works with me now, great guy. After one meeting, he said, "Paul, I said, next time you have a meeting, let me get a PowerPoint for you." And I said, "Randy, I don't know. I'm not too technical." I said, "I don't know that much about PowerPoint." And he said, "Well, it's easy." He said, "I'll help you." He said, "It helps bring out your mind." I said, "Well, whatever. Well, he got wind that was having this meeting today, so it was nothing doing it. I didn't have a PowerPoint. So, he had me get my he called them bullet points. And had to get my bullet points to it. So he did all this. And a couple of nights ago, I went home and I was telling Jill, I said, "Jill, I don't know about this PowerPoint stuff." I said, "I'm a pretty simple guy in this customer service. I don't want to make it seem too high tech, And she kind of looked at me and laughed. Jill teaches up at the school. She said, "Paul," he said, "our third and fourth graders do PowerPoint." I don't think you're going to look too high tech. Anyway, maybe this is high tech. They'll agree with me. So I want to thank Randy Wright for helping me get into whatever century, 21st, whatever we're in. So anyway, let me get my notes out here and what I normally go over with, and we'll try to follow along with my PowerPoint. So anyway, next slide says our Akridge Farm Supply, where customer service counts since 1933. A few years ago, we had a contest trying to come up with a slogan or a thing that we could use, and the lady that worked with us came up with this. We liked it, because it does accentuate our, what we believe is the main part of our business, and it gives the date, whatever. But anyway, 1933, that's 79 years ago, the business started. And I want to give you a quick history of our business from that time period. Kind of tells you how we got to where we are. Back in 1933, my grandfather, Rubel Akridge, TR, and his wife, Rosalie, my grandmother, they bought a hardware store in Fredonia that was there. And they called it Rubel's Grocery Store and General Merchandise. It's, pretty humble beginnings, I guess you call it. I mean, I've seen little pictures, bits and pieces, and to me it looks like something out of an old movie, the old wood floors and glass or boxes or whatever on each side of the merchandise in them. But Grandpa, they sold really whatever they could get their hands on at that time, which in rural Fredonia sure wasn't a lot of stuff. Dad said they used to trade for eggs and chickens, and they would buy furs from hunters in the fall, and they'd sell dried beans, and at Christmas they'd sell oranges and things for presents. So it's pretty simple times. And he would go to, Dad said they would take the train to Louisville, and there was a B.F. Avery factory up there that sold farm implements, which at that time during the war periods, there wasn't a lot of steel or iron, so they would bring back a plow or bring back whatever, to sell. So really whatever Grandpa could get his hands on, or wherever people around Fredonia asked for, he would get. And then in 1959, my dad, he decided to come back to work with my grandfather. And he had been through Fredonia, played ball at Murray State, graduated with business administration. And then had got in the Army for a couple of years and went over to Japan. Came back to Hall at Akridge County and coached, and just decided he wanted to go into business for himself. He didn't know about teaching and coaching and whatnot for a long period of time. Thought he could maybe make a little more money, helping his dad. So that's what our stores became known as TR Akridge and Son. And that's how pretty much everybody knows it. We said shortened it to Akridge Farm Supply, but TR Akridge and Son, that was my grandfather and my dad. So they grew, they added product lines, they joined Southern States Cooperative. Brother White, most of this already yourself. They joined Southern States Cooperative and were able to pick up fencing and feed and seed and all that type of things farmers wanted. Gradually added products, hired a couple of graduates out of Murray State to help pull them along, David Huffstutter and Gary Holland, and we've just had a bunch of great people work for us growing up. I mean, these guys, I love them all that worked with us. Don Harris, Donald Manning, just great people to work with. So I kind of grew up through the store. In 1982, Dad, I guess he was thinking, well, the store's growing, edibles kind of growing, so we might need to open a store in edible to maybe get there first before our competition did. So we bought the Western Auto building up here on the corner that's now the extension office, and opened a store. And I remember working there one summer. Chuck Backus, a lot of y'all know him. he and I were working, he was kind of our manager, I think, and I refinished my 22 gun stock there on the counter of the store, so you can imagine how many customers we had coming in the building at that time. So I did refinish my gun stock. But 82, we moved there in, let's see, 89, that's when I came back. I'd been working in Atlanta with a construction company, and kind of like my dad, I guess, thought, well, I think I'd rather be my own boss or have a chance to be my own boss. So in 89, 90, that time, edible was booming. I mean, if y'all remember, the mall was going. I mean, business was just, great. You could open the door and people were coming in, So I came back at a very good time. It wasn't quite that simple, but there was a lot going on. And so in 94, we thought, well, we've kind of outgrown our little spot here. We might need to get a bigger location there again, because somebody's going to move in here and open a bigger store. So we thought we might want to do it now while we have a chance. So we bought a building from Ray Gray, where we are now. And that's where we've been. And we've grown and added lines and whatnot. And, I wish we was bigger now. I wish we could add some more stuff, and we might, and then since then, and 2 years ago, my son moved back, Logan, and graduated from Murray State. So I'm really proud to have him here. So that makes us a fourth generation business, which we're very proud of. But I guess that gets me back to this part. Ever since I moved back, and and I'm not kidding, literally, guys and girls, every day somebody asks me, well, how's your dad? Or what's your dad doing? Or is he still coming by the store? Or way back when I first started, they say, hey, your dad, he always knows my name. He knows my grandparents. Or he sent me a letter the other day for something I bought. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Every single day. And he did this not because to make sales. It never was to me a big thing about making sales. It was he loved people. I mean, he loved dealing with people. He loved talking to people. I mean, it doesn't matter where we go. We were in the weight room at Coast Sayers in Louisville a few years ago. And there was a girl sitting there, and he said, hey, and I could tell he was just dying to say something to her. He said, hey, what's your name? What do you do? So she started telling a few things. And he said, well, I know some Smiths up in Marion. Well, I'm related to some. Well, I mean, in 5 minutes, he knew who her relatives was, who her grandparents was. He would trade. He was telling, well, they used to trade with us and still do. And he's got this knack for loving people. And and that's part of, I guess, and I'll break this thing, Keith. Yes, high tech, Keith. Remember her name, and if you could say one thing our business was built on, it was remembering people's names and caring about people and knowing them and sincerely, wanting to help them. Like I said, Dad's thing, I don't think was ever a matter of selling something or making a big sale. So at the end of the day, he could say, hey, I sold, $1,000 or stuff or $100 or stuff. It was just the fact that he wanted to get to know that person, wanted to know what they did on their farm, because he knew he had stuff that could help them be more profitable or be a better farmer or just enhance their life, And I mean, that's basically, to me, what our business, is built on. And like I said, he didn't do it to make the sale. He just did it because he loved people. And that's been a big, thing for me. I mean, granted, all y'all have mentors you look up to, but, it's a challenge every day for us to come in the store and live up to that, that legacy. But that's what makes it fun too. Now, are there a lot of other things that go along with this? And I'll get into that here. All right. It's got to be more than just remembering somebody's name. And I went back, we've had meetings. It seems like every time we get together, Dad will say his little quick things like, how's everybody doing, how's the kids? Oh, by the way, y'all didn't have the pallets out front filled up. Or I was in the store the other day, did you write down that you needed this type of battery? I mean, he's in his most age right now, so it does not matter. It turns me a little bit, but I know it's different. I'll call him on the phone, or he'll call me, and he'll say, his little things, but then he gets right to it. Well, how's business today? Did you sell anything? Did y'all ever get that thing sent over? He said, I noticed Fredonia had too many of this. You need to get it at edible so we can sell them. So, he's constantly thinking about helping people and helping us and helping me. But Dad, anyway, back up. We've had these meetings, and I went back and I was picking up some papers, and this book said store meetings from 1985, I think. But we're talking about the same thing today that Dad's talking about in 85 and 86 and 87. Every meeting seems like we ever have, we talk about the same things. But here's something Dad had kind of put together on one meeting back a while, and I'll kind of walk through it. What is customer service? Number one, for us, it's attitude. I mean, you got to come to work with a positive, caring attitude. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can be the smartest guy or the smartest lady, but if you don't care, and if you're not positive with these people, they're not going to want to shop with you. What I tell our guys, when somebody comes in the store, they might come in and ask for something that I guarantee I know we've never sold, and never have, or never would. But when they ask me that, they made the trouble to drive to Edible, to get out of their car, come in our store, and walk in and ask us. So when they ask us for this item, I'll say, hey y'all, let me back. I know y'all are see me every day, so you think he can do that when I was in the store today. You can tell we're doing this in 85. We're still working on it in 2012. So it's an everyday thing, guys, that we've got to try to beat in our heads, my employees' heads. But what I'm getting at, when somebody comes to ask for something, the first thing out of our mouth, I want us to say, yeah, I think we got that, or yeah, we can probably get that. Knowing in the back of my mind, like, golly, where am I going to find this thing? So I'll take it back to a certain area, I might need to know what they're talking about. And I'll say, well, is it this, or is it going this way? And touch them, I say, yeah, there's something like that. Well, that gets me in the mode of what they're wanting. So I try to tell our employees, say, be positive. Don't let the first thing out of your mouth say, no, we don't have it. No, we can't do it. Or no, we've never heard of that. Or I can't believe you asked that. Even if you know, I don't mind us even, we've driven to Paducah to pick up stuff. Or somebody said, yeah, we can have that for you tomorrow. And then I'll say, tell you, get in the truck and run to Paducah and get that, and be back. They don't care. They don't know how we got it. Don't care how we got it. They just know they were able to come in, we were able to answer the questions. We won't do that on every situation, but it has been done. So we've all got to have a positive, can-do attitude. Okay, knowledge. You've got to know, and all y'all out there, you've got to know what you're talking about. With the internet, a lot of times people come to our store, they already know more about the product than we do ourselves, because they've lived it. They say, I want this item. So they get on the internet and they research it. They already know all the specs and all the stuff about it. They even know probably how much it costs. So when they come in our store, and they come in and say, hey, Paul, I want to buy this CS310. I want to look at this CS310 Echo chainsaw. Well, I can walk over there and I can say, yeah, here it is. It's pretty orange. Yeah, it's a big old saw. It'll cut good. He's looking at me like, what are you talking about? He's going to ask me, how many cc's is it? How long is that bar? What kind of chain does it take? What kind of oil does it got? What kind of service do you have? He's going to want to know all these answers. So not only I have to know it, our employees have to know it. So you've got to know, guys, what you're talking about. Customer service, that's just a big chunk of it right there is knowing what you're talking about, being able to back up what you're in there doing. Reliable. Dad, we've always preached, call people back. Tell them you're going to do something, do it. You guys know this. I mean, if somebody calls your business, you say, well, I'll find out for you. Well, you better find out and call them back or tell them something. You've got to do what you say. You've got to back it up. Improve. I tell our people, every day is not sunshiny like this, and you don't have a lot of people walking in the door. It might be a rainy day, but every day I go into the store, I try to think, how can I make the store better today? How can I make one little thing better? And if we got 8 or 10 people in there working, if each one of them's in that mindset, if they're not busy, they're thinking, how can I make my display better? How can I make it an easier shopping experience for a customer? Is my department signed? Is my merchandise full front? How can I improve today to make it better? To me, that's what makes our business fun, and y'all's business fun too. You're continually trying to improve, but you got to get your employees and even yourself. I mean, I have trouble some days. I don't feel the greatest, but if I make it a game with myself and go and say, how can I make the store better today? What can I do? What can I tell my employees to do today to help our business do better? This is kind of simple, I guess, but Dad, he always dress neatly, dress professional for your occupation, Granted, you don't want to wear a three-piece suit if you're working out on a construction job, but, I want our people to dress nice, to look professional. Had a guy come into work the other Saturday, he just had his look like casual Saturday clothes. I said, Rick, my man, I said, what are you doing? I said, who you working for? You off today? Oh, here. And, but he understood. We joked about it. But he got his vest on or something and looked more professional. But you want your employees to look like they work there, and you want a customer to come in and know that they are working there, that they're ready to help. So we've stressed that a lot in the last several years. Giving, all y'all know, Edible, Lyon County, Cole County, they're small communities, and they've got a lot of needs, a lot of groups. That's just part of being in business, but that's a big thing with us and with Dad. We want to give back to the community, be involved in as many things as we can. We don't do it for a business thing. We just, we do it because we love it. Little League, high school, fall, the whole, there's so many causes, guys. Y'all know that, but that's a form of us customer service. Enthusiasm, which I added, I think, employees and environment, that goes back to maybe attitude. You got to love what you do. You can't just go into work every day and go through the motions and, oh man, another day at work. Because we got customers coming in that maybe have their own set of problems, their own set of needs, and if I got employees, Bud, that come and say, no, what do you want, Bud? But, we got to say, hey, Bud, how you doing? What's going on today? And, be enthusiastic. Be proud that guy came in your store. We got Walt that works over there with y'all at Venture River. And, Walt comes in 10 times a day. But to me, we got to be just as energetic and want to help Walt every time he walks in the doors. We do that one person that comes in there maybe once a week or once every month or once the first time they've ever been in there. We got to be as excited to see Walt. And Walt probably gets tired when he walks in the back door and says, hey, Walt, what you need? What can I do? Oh, I got it. Which 49% of the time he does get it. He'll go back and get his stuff and come up. But there'll be that 0.01% of the time that Walt might need help. Well, if we sit back, oh, it's Walt again, he'll be all right. And he needs help, and he'll get perturbed, and he said, man, they just high-hatted me over at Akridge. I'm not going back in there. So I try to tell myself, I don't care if you've seen that guy 20 times, you act like it's the first time you've ever seen him. It's a privilege for us to be able to help that person. Just like in y'all's business, it's a privilege that they're offering and want you to help them. So you cannot take anybody like that for granted. Employees goes along with enthusiasm, and you've got to have good employees. I'm sure y'all been through different people, and some people aren't fitted for every job, but you're only as good as the people you're working with. I can stand here and act all big and know all this stuff and think I know it, have my dad back me up. But if Jeff, or Ricky Powell, or Billy Springs, or Logan, whoever, if they don't have the same mindset I do, our business is only as good as the worst they are, as bad as they are. I tell our guys outside, they might think, oh, I'm just loading this stuff. They're selling, I'm loading. I tell them, you're the last contact our customer has with our business. I said, when they come out for you to load them, you've got to be even more enthusiastic of saying, man, I'm proud to load this stuff for you. And Grandpa, if you didn't put it in, if they got 10 bags, if he didn't see 3 piles there of 3 bags and one laid across the top, you'd be hearing about it. We don't do it every time. We try to preach it, but that customer, when he leaves, those guys in the warehouse, they're probably more important than anybody in our whole organization. Because when that customer leaves there and they're driving down the road and somebody else sees, well, that's a big stack of feed in the back of that truck or whatever that came from. Well, that must come from Akridge, because that's the way they do it. That's the way I want people to think. Now, that doesn't happen every time, but that's what we shoot for. That's why we're still talking about it every meeting we have, since 1933. Environment. I tell, and I do myself, when I drive up the store in the morning, I want to look at our business like a customer, like you would when you drive up to our business. What's it look like? Is it clean? Is it straight? Are pallets full of stuff? When they walk in the door, with the lights bright, the popcorn's cooking, what's the counter look like? That's what I want everybody to think about when our employees come in. Because it's easy for me to walk in the store, that box has been there all week, it's not bothering anybody. That pallet's been laying there, it'll be all right today, we'll move it later. Well, a customer walks in, they see an empty pallet, they see a box, and think, man, this is, what kind of place is this? They don't take care of your stuff. You have about a minute to show that customer that you care. And every time they walk in the door, it's a different ballgame. I mean, it's a different time. So you've got to do it every second of every customer of every day. Service. I guess that's the hands-on part of all this. And I don't know a lot to say about that, but it's just being confident in all these above things. You're ready, you've got the attitude, the knowledge, you dressed right, you got the decision, and now you're going to help that guy. You're going to do what you're getting paid to do. You're going to do what keeps the doors open at the store. So anyway, that's a little thing that, like I said, Dad, he's always coming up with games or whatever, but he helped with that back several years ago. Good customer service, that was like any style. I just, all of you out here could do this same thing, have the same stories I do. I was telling somebody at the store the other day, Cole Lumber, they're competitive ours. I'm real competitive, so when I heard Cole Lumber being in town, oh man, they're a good hardware store, a good lumber store, so it's going to be tough on us. But I want to win the game, I want to beat them, But anyway, we're doing some remodeling at our house, and somebody mentioned Cole Lumber had good cabinets or something. So I said, well, I want to buy a local, but God, I hate to come in there. I just don't want to be seen in my competitor business. And, which I even know some people. But it's just a thing, so I guess it's a ball game, call a line. So finally, wife talks to me that we go in there. Sally Duff, which I've been to church with her, she hollers at me. I mean, they got a beautiful store. She hollers at me from over here to the side, and we go over there. Well, she's already got samples and already got her plans there. I mean, she's just going 90 to nothing. I'm like, man, she's all right. Well, then we leave, and she calls back and says, hey, we got some more ideas. Well, she was the epitome of customer service for me. I mean, I thought, man, she's great. She didn't have horns and things or anything. Like I kind of thought, but here, this lady showed customer service. She was passionate about what she was doing. She was interested in my job, that I was trying to do. She wanted it to be good. I mean, she did everything that I would even want her to. Keith sitting back there. I mean, I look at Keith's store all the time. Man, I wish our store was this bright, this neat. Keith keeps his floors are spotless, all bare. Somebody goes in there, don't they? But somebody, stuff's pulled up front. His employees are always seem like real busy. I thought, man, if I could just be like Keith, and that's part of great customer service is preparing a good environment for your customers, making it easy. I always think of that. Let's make it easy for customers when they come in. Don't put on a big production and make it hard for them to buy something. Make it easy where they just want to come back in. So, Keith does that. I mean, I could go around the tables. I saw Karen come in. She said Don's working. Yeah, Don. They talk about 5-hour energy drinks. I like Don drinks 25-hour energy. He's an energetic, positive, hard-working guy. I know. I mean, he never comes to our store that he's not almost bouncing on his toes. Just can't. You can tell he can't wait to get back in the game. And that's where he's at today. I think he said he was working hard so he could come pay our bill. That's why I appreciate that. But there's a guy just through his enthusiasm and his energy showing great customer service every time I open the paper. Right? I mean, he's built some magnificent swing or pavilion or something. I mean, the guy's he's just crazy energetic. But that's a good part of customer service. Getting long-winded here, guys, but I don't know if any of y'all know Darrell Armstrong. He's a kind of a business consultant writer. He happens to live in Lyon County, but he goes around the country speaking on customer service. And he had an article back a while about our Lyon County Post Office and about Kenny Gray, how lively, how personable he was, and how which not maybe a little unusual for the post office business because there's not a lot of places to go get stamps. But Kenny Gray, when you go in there, I mean, he's always just hey, how you doing? What are you up to? Or what can I get for you? He's just, to me, the epitome, too, of customer service. And that kind of brings me to the story Dad tells that I've heard a million times. But he said there was a little old lady in the line at the post office. The line was fairly long, and the guy behind her noticed she had some envelopes to mail. And he knew she could tell she didn't feel real good. So he said, well, ma'am, He said, you just need stamps for that? He said, if you do, I'll go over to the machine and we'll put 50 cents in or whatever it takes now, 45, and we'll get you some stamps. And she said, no, son, he said, I'm gonna stay in this line because that machine over there won't ask me how my arthritis is. The point is, people still want that personal service. They still want to talk to a human being. I know with all the internet and all that, they still crave somebody that cares. And so when they come to your business or our business, we've got to act like that we care, or not act like, care that they're in there. So, try to wrap it up. Let's see where I'm at. Keep this thing get too high tech for me. Okay. Near the end, guys. Dad's a big ball game guy, and he always relates everything to winning the ball game. You know, he was a coach. He had 3 sons that all love ball. He's got grandsons and granddaughters that play ball. But anyway, he always preaches, you know, that our business is a ball game. We've got to practice. We got to improve. We got to win. I mean, you all know. You can take any professional athlete, Kobe Bryant. Every day at practice, I guarantee he's shooting free throws and he's working on his dribble. And he gets paid millions of dollars and probably one of the best basketball players in the world. But he practices the little things, guys. It's not the great big thing, trying to hit the game-winning shot or whatever. For him to win the ball game, for him to be a good ball player, he's got to practice every day, practice all these little things that we talk about. But I call it the touch and feel stuff, I guess, of business. He's got to do those right, and there's no way he's going to win. And winning to us and you, I'm sure, is people coming in your door, shopping with you, coming to the water park, buying ads as a painter or the radio or whatever. That's winning the game. You got to present yourself in a way that you're going to make people want to play ball with you, want to come in and be on your team and win with you. And this last thing, my wife says this I can't do, and it's a bad trait, I guess, but I can't relax. I'm always worried. I don't know if I get that from my mom, but I'm always worried about what do I need to do, or what did I do, or what can I do to make this store keep going. I mean, it's even more pertinent to me now that my son's moved back, because, you know, maybe a few years ago I thought, well, I'll ride this thing out, you know, and, you know, milk it and go on. I didn't like that. But, and now with Logan, it makes it a little more, I thought, man, I got to help this thing keep going, you know, support his family and support all the families that work for us. So, you know, it's something in your business too. If you ever relax, I mean, things aren't going to be good, I don't think, in the business world, especially now more than ever. And I want to read this real quick. Murray State, we're big Murray State people. I know we've got Western people and UK people, but we're big Murray State people. And last year, they were the last team to lose a basketball game in the NCAA and won, I think, 33 games, only lost 2. The talk of the nation, you know. Well, they've got this 20-year-old kid that plays for them, Dante Poole. And this kid, he gets this don't relax thing. He gets what it takes to be good. I mean, they were good. They were real good. Here's what Dante Poole said. He was a guard for the Racers last year. I think that's a downfall of people who become successful. They forget what they've done to get to that point, or they think that they've done enough, so they relax. I think once you relax, that's when you lose, and that's when things start going bad for you. And to me, he hit it on the head, you know, in life or in business or whatever. You know, when we come, you know, I could be down there at the store and say, hey, we got this big pretty store. You know, granted, we've got some more hardware place in town, lumber, but, you know, we're the big dog. You know, I just open the door and whoever comes in. Well, I guarantee you, if I ever felt like that, it would take probably not very long, would Keith, for people to start seeing that, sensing that, and think, man, we'll just go somewhere else. We'll go to, you know, whoever else is in town, or Paducah, or wherever. So we've got to have the attitude, and I think you all do too. We got to cherish every customer, every moment we have, and don't relax, and continually try to get better, try to improve our businesses, try to improve ourselves. And, you know, that's what we try to preach at our store. And granted, it's a tough crowd because you guys see us a lot every day, and you think, well, he can do that with me. But like I said earlier, we were talking about it when I was a little kid in 1970 or 65 or 75, and we're still discussing the very same issues in 2012. And I'd say Logan's going to be discussing them to Henry in 2030. You know, but it doesn't change. In 79 years, business really, that part of it to me has not changed. You've got to care about the customer. that you gotta care about who's walking in your door and taking care of them. So,
All right.
anyway, thank you all. Randy, I'll give them a power lady through the